Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. Wanted to do the just kind of quick review of today's trading and kind of see what we came up with. Before I get started, just a quick reference to how you can reach me if you'd like a trial to the room or you have any questions. Tradeandperform@gmail.com, very straightforward and simple. And just reach out to me if you have any questions about the method, if you have any questions about the trading, if you have any questions about anything you see in the video, or you just want to try out to the room. So let's start from where we start from every morning, right? Let's go look at the charts for the day. So the first thing that we look at, and probably our most important charts, quite frankly, are our swing charts, right? Our swing charts tell us where there's the potential to get a large trade out of an area. And what we want to do is we want to get above those swing areas to find exhaustion. And we have a method for doing that. It's not blind. And you can see today that first of all, we got to, so the areas that we were looking for, let's start that. The first place, what's the advantage to this? So if you start the day and you're overnight, the first thing that you're looking for here is this 15,461 is the first place to look for potential exhaustion. It never sets up. I can tell you, we hung up here all day long. The next area is 15,485. The next area is 15,534. The 15,534 is finally what got it hung up. It was too late in the day for me. All of this happened very, very quickly in terms of the actual roll down into Facebook's numbers, and there really wasn't an opportunity for us here. This was trend day up, and we did pretty good. We didn't take any shorts on NQ. Joyce, hats off to her. She caught the 100-point long on NQ today, so I want to give a big shout out to Joyce. She's worked very, very hard. She got rewarded. I didn't get the long. That's all right. I just didn't take the setup, and I certainly wish I did, but I didn't, right? So in ES, kind of rolling through here, here's ES swing levels. And again, you can see this morning that one of the things that's very, very helpful, again, we're not even potentially looking for shorts until we get above 45.51 and a quarter. Once we got above 45.51 and a quarter, again, it just went sideways. I had no trade on ES, and I'm pretty darn comfortable with not having to trade on ES, quite frankly. There's just nothing there for me. Um, we follow a specific process, and guys, it just, as a matter of fact, one of the members in the room asked me, said, Simon, you didn't seem to be trading very much. And when we're banging out all-time highs, I'm more cautious, right? I tend to fade moves. I would have loved to have gotten an opportunity below 45.15 over there. It didn't set up, right? So no worries. We were looking above 45.51 for potential short. That never developed because we go from this chart. The reason why it never developed is we go from this chart to this chart. All right, so let me show you. If I'm using 45.51, okay, so a couple of things have to happen. Number one, that's Friday's value area, that purple area. We already don't want to trade inside that. Yes, you can have trades. So let me restate that. For my most aggressive traders, if you want to trade inside value and you're comfortable with it, that's fine. You will experience more stops inside that area, right? So the next area is this 45.51-ish, right? There you go. So think about the advantage here. Yes, we missed a short, but we don't trade in the first minute of the day anyways. So let's call it a non-issue. So for myself included, less aggressive traders, we want to trade above here or below here to look for opportunity. This is our first kind of, so many trade services and so many traders talk about, we'll get the aggressive trade, find a way to get the money on the table. They want to call trades out. I want to protect my capital personally. I've made a lot of money trading. I want to protect it and not give it back to the market. So I want specific areas where I can have the potential for a bigger roll down. And I'm going to relate this NQES trade to CL today and show you exactly what I mean. So once we got above 45.51, I needed to get underneath a wave to the high. That means that I had to get underneath this wave. So the problem with that, guys, and of course I'm speaking to the members in the room, is that put the bottom of the wave right here. Now let me tell you, you don't want this giant wave to be the wave you got underneath because there's too much room to play with. What we wanted was a little wave up, like we're getting right over here in Asia, and have it be relatively small, And what we would have wanted was to get underneath the wave, right? So now we're, right, this is the high of the day. This is the wave, current wave to the high. I want to get a close underneath that wave, a backside test, and then have these different color bars. There are various algos that fire here, like this combination in particular where I get the arrow down, or I get this pink bar followed by the little yellow diamond. That tells me sellers are present, right? So remember, there's two stages. You can take this and make money. I've got no issue with people doing that. There was scalps obviously to be had here at this 11 o'clock hour, and it was even a decent rotation. But if you want the higher odds trade, so I'm going to flip this on its head for a second, right? I'm going to show you the long from Friday afternoon. Friday did the exact same thing. It got below a prior day's low, right? When we open this up, this, technically this is my wave to what I would have used as my wave to the low right here. So my line in the sand comes in right here roughly, right? So this is the orthodox close, what I refer to as an orthodox close above. There's no physical contact with the bar. You could call this your orthodox close as well. Excuse me, this arrow right here, this bar right here. And now I know I've got this area as support. This is a more conservative approach for a turn, right? We already know that we have a support area down here from higher time frame charts. We get up here, the backside test. So what am I looking for? Well, on ES, I'm looking for this magical triangle up. So look how this plays out. So see when we come back in here, guys, look at this. I know I'm above my seller, right? This is truly this is my actual bigger than two wave bar to the low. I would have used this. We come back in, a no demand bar, diamond on top of the bar. That bar gives a tiny push. You need a 5-point stop on this on ES, right? So I want y'all to watch this. Okay, so let's say 34.75 is your entry. Let's call it 35. You need a 30 stop to survive this trade. Now, so you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Simon, you got stopped. That's fine if you got stopped. If you entered at 34.75, number one, you did not get your 5-point extension. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is, because so many people out there with any kind of process go, oh, they try to cut. Stops happen. Just let them happen, right? This is your next entry right here, again with a 5-point stop, right? Now look at your extent before you say, oh, it stopped again, right? Look at your extension now, because you're playing out the end of the day, right? So this is your entry right here at 33. And it extends all the way up to 45, 33 to 45. So, okay, you weren't massively profitable in that particular situation, but now look how it uses that bottom area to find support in there. I'm talking about earlier into Sunday evening. See how we came back and tested? You get that little green diamond on top. See the push away gives? Green diamond on top, little push away, green diamond on top, push away. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Yellow diamond. You'll see that it kind of folds up both ways. So we have very mechanical ways of entering the trade. But guys, what we're trying to do is put all the leverage on one side of the trade, one side or the other, right? And we already knew that was a great location. So we adapt a little bit, right? Peter was long off the low. We were long NQ and had great trades off that bottom. And we're looking for setups into this low and above this low to grab either scalps or manage your position so you can build your P&L and get these push outs in this area. Now, this area comes today, right? So you can see the reason why we try to avoid sticking trades in here is because this area gets easily swept on both sides. I apologize, I'm going on a bit, right? And so I wasn't interested in the short up here. Why? I want to get underneath these sellers, these buyers that are over here before I catch a short. And yes, I may miss a small scalp to the downside, but it prevents me from getting run over in straight up markets. And that's pretty much where we are right now, is in a straight up market. So I'm just on chill mode on the shorts. I want to see some sellers step in and some rotation. The other thing that I want to point out to everybody is the lack of rotation. So erase this real quick. See how, okay, this is effectively the open, right? This is effectively the open, and we go straight down. Guess what? Unless you high printed that or you chased price, it just moved away from you. Okay? Again, when we moved up, notice the lack of counter rotation right back. See how it just sweeps the other way? So for a day trader like me, what I'm looking for, so here, I'll show you what I'm looking for. So going back to the low, see how after we get this initial push, even off the bottom, right, over here, see how we're getting, look, these are pretty fat rotations, 25 back to 15, 15 up to 36, 37, 37 back to 30, 30 back to 37, 37 back to 29, 29 back to 45. Those are rotations, right? These are not rotations, right? This doesn't let you get above anything, below anything. It's just V shape. So for me, this is important mentally, right? I don't worry about the V shapes because they generally don't set me up. Every once in a blue moon, I catch one. They generally don't set me up. They're not part of my process, right? The earliest entry I had for a trade here was this no demand with a little green dot on top that told me, hey, we could lift. And at that point, I was like, I was still inside value, and I've come back to the same problem I had earlier, which is I want to stay outside of value area for my trades. What I would have liked to have seen was this for this to pop up, come back and retest, and then push out. It just didn't work out for what I was looking for today. I want to stress this. That's got to be totally okay from you from a day trader standpoint, right? You've got to protect your capital, so you have to have very specific setups, or you end up in the same vicious up, down, I'm going to blow up my account process. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to give back a lot of money. And let me tell you, the day over day, make money, give back money thing isn't what's debilitating. What's debilitating is the year over year. I made a lot of money one year. I gave it all back the next year. I made a lot of money one year. I gave it all back the next year. You got to find a way to keep your money. And that's what we're all about in the room is making sure that the trades we're taking are all A+ trades. We're mentally prepared for the room and what we're looking for, and we have specific areas. So understand, we go from this chart over here where we're looking above 45.51. Why do we do that? Because we know that's where the big stretches are going to come from, right? So when we look for 45.51, so this is where I would have started looking for a short. And guess what? It didn't set up, and that's totally okay. What I avoided from that standpoint, so the question is what shorts would have been available here had I taken the trade? Look, unless you shorted off the open, and God bless you if you did, but NQ was going straight up, ES was rolling straight down. I don't mess with that open. It's too freaking hard to get consistently, right? Next, if I'm looking for a place to short and I eliminate all these areas over here where I'm going, okay, I'm not going to mess with the short. This is my only short signal that I have right here, and it got completely stuffed in there. Had I shorted here, I'd have gotten run over, right? Next, okay, 45.51. Where am I looking for the short? Actually, in this case, without going through all the setups, this actually turned out to be the best place. Because once we got underneath here, this turned out to be the best place to look for a short. That did not set up. What we had to do is get a close underneath that occurred right over here. That did not set up till the very end of the day. And you can see, had you shorted in there, man, you had about 3 minutes to cover that, maybe even just 2 minutes to cover that before it ripped you all the way up into Asia to the upside. So what this tells me is the process worked. Now I'm going to go over to CL for a second. So looking at CL, remember, I'm starting from the high end and I'm going to the low end. I'm not even going to the detailed chart in this particular case. This is my CL chart for today. So I had several levels. I want to bring this out. In Asia, we opened up above 83.81. All of this, 83.81, 84.42, right? So that was all Sunday night. 84.93 and 85.61 were all areas I wanted to get above to set up a potential short in here, right? So now I'm going to show you the conservative way to have set up that trade and the entries. I'm not going to break out all the tools. So the purple area is Friday's value area, right? The green area is the first 10 minutes of trading and of the US session, right? And this is my wave to the high right here. See this? This is my wave to the high. Now I want to show y'all something that's really important. Look, I didn't have to short anything up here. So this is my original wave to the high. So I want to show you. So guys, remember, we always talk about our trader. I'm referencing the guys in the room, obviously, and gals, right? This is our initial wave to the high. So remember, we always use as our reference point this millionaire trader that trades one contract, right? He doesn't ever make any money. He doesn't ever lose any money. He's consistently profitable. I'll take it back. He's consistently profitable. He would not have used this bar, but he would have used this bar to short. So he would be short right on that second green arrow right there, right? His stop would have been what I call an orthodox close above, meaning we would have had to close completely above with no contact the top of this bar. So number one, he shorts here and he survives all the way through, right? Next, you got to remember that we're banging out all-time highs, right? So the shorts are the harder trade, and they gave normally if we were anywhere off the high, this head and shoulders would have held, and this push up would have been fantastic to the downside. So if you look, they couldn't break the high. They gave a really big push. Look at the push against the waves back to the left. They couldn't break the high. This became your wave to the high by one tick. So wait, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to show you where the trade comes from, right? So our original trader, right, we reference this guy because even though we don't trade this way, because he survived and he made a ton of money. He rolled to the downside. We had that location nailed, and he rolls it all the way back into 83.50. It was a monster trade, right? But then we got a new wave to the high, guys. So we're going to switch to this wave. We want an orthodox close underneath. I want to show you this. I'm going to make it really big so everyone can see that we actually got this is the orthodox close underneath. Okay, so again, our wealthy single contract trader shorts here again, or he adds to his trade. We're looking for specific entries. So what are we looking for on those specific entries, guys? So first thing we would look for is the bars with the yellow dots underneath for a potential trade, right? So, but we usually want them to come in tandem with some other piece of information. So what we're looking for is either a high volume at the end, a 2-bar combo, which we got right here, by the way. So see this triangle up and this arrow down? This was the release right here, right when that arrow printed. And you could have used that to capture the short. The rest of these really didn't set up. The only other one that set up was this bar right here. It gave you the high, excuse me, I want to go back on that. It gave you the high volume bar. You would have had to use the triangle down for your setup, and or you could have just used this speed bar right here, the yellow algo that fired for your entry. But that was a tough entry, and I would have skipped that. This was a pretty prime entry right here because you get a 2-bar combo, biggest volume bar at the end. You get the triangle down with a no demand bar. That's pretty huge to the downside, and it rolled pretty hard. At any rate, long story short, I stepped away from the computer when that occurred at 10 o'clock. The long we captured was right over here. We were long off this algo combo right here. This was our long. We took a little bit of heat back in, and we exited 84.09 was our best exit as we pushed up. So that was pretty much an 83.70 to 84.09, about $400 a contract. The shorts did set up over here, guys. You'll see the yellow diamonds underneath where they released, right? And you were underneath. The key to this, I know I'm all over the place. The key to this was getting underneath the wave to the high, and that's what really jammed it to the downside. And then if you'll look on the reversal, even though we picked off that low, this is a retest of a key area from a higher time frame. But what you'll notice is all evening long, we have not made it above a wave to the low yet. And I don't think we still have. Let's go look. Oh, we have right here. I take it back. I lied. Oh, no, we still haven't. We need to close in order to really lift. We got to close above this point with a complete orthodox close above 83, 82, or they're just going to roll this thing down and probably retest the lows. But I'm still not very bearish on CL. I'll look for dips to the downside to get long. Uh, anyways, that's my 2 cents, guys. I hope that helped. I'm trying to explain process. I haven't put out a lot of trade reviews. The trade reviews are important. I just haven't had time to do it. So I'm going to put out the charts, and hopefully I'm rusty at this. I'll get better and better as time goes on. To those who aren't in the room, there's a specific process. The process takes a little bit of time to learn, but it pays you an enormous amount of money. If you want a simple chart, if you just want simple, right? Find someone who's posting these charts with an explanation. Look, here, I'll show you. It doesn't take rocket science, right? This all comes off of market profile, and you can use it to better your trading. And I used to post these charts all the time. I don't have time to post them all the time, but like this was our ES chart today. Like it was really quite simple, right? When you look at the open there's the value area. We can see we traded up to 45.51 once we were above the prior day's high. It just took off. We came right down to support. See that 45.2850? We hit it right to the tick. I pointed it out in the rim. I was like, came right down to support and bounced just underneath the value area and lifted. So if you want, this is available to almost anybody in terms of, I don't think there's that much value to it in terms of free or not free. But if you're beginning trading, a lot of beginning traders will just want levels. Find someone who posts good levels and use their levels. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't load up on leverage the way I want to when I trade, so I don't use the levels blindly. I have to have the algo set up, and that's what lets me make much more money than having to keep a balance. Our win rate's closer to 16, 70% instead of 50. Instead of in the 50s, where you have to have a balanced risk reward, a more balanced risk reward approach. But even more important than that, you can't really attack. So I don't like to attack inside the value area. I like to attack outside the value area, and just didn't set up today, so I left it alone. Anyways, my name is Simon. I'm a Trade and Perform coaching. If that was a little rough, it's been a little while since I've done a trade review, so I will be back in the swing, and things will start to click for me in terms of teaching on these videos. And anyways, have a good night. I'm going to drop this onto YouTube here in a minute, and I will talk to y'all later.